keep it. Yeah. That's it. Okay.
Come on now. Because your body, you start expecting it.
Yeah.
You need it.
Yeah.
Like, hit it.
Hit that shit. You know, the basis of jazz and like the rest of music in general, where it starts is the blues. You know, you know. So after the blues, you have big band. You know, you have the big band. You know, this is like the first dance music. You know, you can like dance to this. You can. You know, you can like literally any dance. You can dance to this.
The big band.
Oh, you know, just like any of the. This is the first like clubbing music. From out of that, a lot of clubs started closing up, and big bands weren't able to play in a lot of venues anymore. And what came from that is small group stuff. And you have the bebop era. Like a lot of notes, but it comes out of this feeling of big band. And it's like those people took it and expound on it and created their own language. Like the thing about jazz music is that it's a language. Like there are certain vocabulary things that they all know. Just as easy as you and I are speaking to each other English, like these people can speak to each other in the bebop vocabulary. And most of the time, jazz musicians are like the most learned musicians out there. More than classical musicians. I'm sorry to say it. I'll say it. Anybody can talk to me about this. Classical music is you interpret the feeling, you read what's on the paper. Jazz music is you interpret the feeling, you read what's on the paper, you learn the harmony, and you learn you break down chord changes so that you learn how to approach improvising from all these different angles. So then when it comes time to play, you can let yourself go, and everything that you've practiced kind of flushes out. It's not random stuff. Like it's such a studied music. A person to follow the development of jazz music is Miles Davis. As cliche as it sounds, because everybody knows who Miles Davis is. Like, but for a reason. People know who Miles Davis is because it's valid. Miles Davis was with Charlie Parker on the beginnings of bebop, and then he developed bebop and he turned it into cool jazz, and then he developed that into modal jazz. Him and Jackie McLean developed modal jazz music. From bebop also comes hard bop, and Miles Davis was a part of that. He was post bop, like all these things, all this stuff happened within like 20 years. Like these guys were like so innovative and like just kept pushing, and like within 20 years. And then, you know, by the time you get to like the late 60s, rock music takes over the pop culture music. And Miles Davis was in front of that too. He did Bitches Brew, like he did all the rock music. Miles Davis is like, he was at the beginnings of all the stages of music, from jazz to rock to funk in the 70s, to R&B and hip hop up to his death. Like, he was always in the beginning. So if you really want to know about jazz music, i.e. Black American music, follow Miles Davis's career, and you'll get it all. Just that right there. He says something real quick, and the drummer and the piano go bang, 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 boom. But it's like there's a conversation. It's a rhythmic and harmonic conversation between the soloist and the bass player, piano player, and drummer, the rhythm section. Like on a whim, just based off reaction and acute, like listening and paying attention, but also the freedom that comes with that, to be able to be in it, but also have your lens not tunnel visioned, like being able to absorb all the information, but still being on top and on being able to react on a dime. Like, that shit is like the best. If I'm trying to convince somebody that jazz music is the best thing, is that, first of all, it's the first Black American art form, first and foremost. Hip hop, R&B, funk, jazz, soul music, all that shit comes from, I can swear on here, all that shit comes from jazz music. Like, that's like, it's like, you know, you go to the source. Like, this is the source, and the source is the most sophisticated and creative and freeing of them all, you know. And if you don't know what to listen to, just listen to the bass and the drums and the piano play together. Like, if you just listen to that, like, you'll have as much fun as I'm having, like, I promise.
So today we've been absorbing the intricacies of jazz music, and the most striking parallel that I've drawn so far is the comparison between a spoken language and the language that is found and communicated within the music. I think what's so special about jazz music for me specifically is the creativity and the improvisation. It's not just listening to music, you are experiencing this music, and I think that it's so special. You feel so connected, not only with yourself, but the other people who are around you, experiencing it with you, and with the musicians on stage. And I think that anytime that you listen through a whole disc or you sit through a whole concert, you leave feeling more elevated and just at a higher place. And I think by learning some of the techniques and some of the jargon, some like the verbiage, I think that I will now be able to appreciate it to an even greater degree than I had been able to previously. So I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to just experience this and learn from the best. So this is Sponge. Thanks for absorbing life with us.